Hello, cool friend. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's dive straight into the heart of the matter. Barcelona has been sanctioned by UEFA for violating financial fair play rules. Do you think if it were the white team from Valdebebas, the rigor would be the same? Let's understand the situation. Behind the scenes, Szczęsny has agreed to renew with Barcelona. Find out how long his new contract will be and how Hansi Flick reacted angrily to Nico Williams' extension. The coach had spoken personally with the player and everything was agreed, but look at what happened behind the scenes. And speaking of behind the scenes, after the extension of Nico Williams, Barcelona is already working on Plan B and has two options. Cool friend, who would you like to see with the Blaugrana jersey? Our friend Andre brings you all the latest news. According to the official UEFA source, FC Barcelona has been fined €15 million for violating financial fair play rules. Yes, cool, it's now official. What was just a rumor in the corridors has been confirmed by the supreme body of European football, which has decided to come down hard on our club. According to UEFA, Barcelona exceeded the limit of authorized expenses during the 2023 and 2024 seasons, presenting a financial deficit higher than the tolerated threshold. The punishment is not limited to the hefty fine. The club will also not be able to register new players for European competitions such as the Champions League, unless the transfer balance is positive. That is, if the club wants to strengthen the European team, it will have to sell first. It's as if they're saying, you can compete, but only if you play the money game correctly. And frankly, it seems more like a way to slow down those who have once again disrupted the European scene. And of course, we are not alone in this situation. UEFA itself has informed that clubs like Chelsea, Aston Villa, Porto, Lyon, and even Krotduk Split have also been sanctioned. But there is a curious detail. Only Barcelona has become worldwide news. Only Barcelona attracts this kind of attention.
Why?
Because when the badge weighs heavily, every misstep becomes a spectacle. And Barcelona is the spectacle. But without a fine. But don't think the club has been sitting idly by watching the storm pass. The management acted quickly and signed a conciliation agreement with UEFA, committing to correct the financial situation by the end of the 2026-27 season. That is, Barcelona will be under maximum surveillance for the next 2 years. During this period, it will have to present clean financial reports that comply with the standards. If it meets the objectives, perfect, but if it fails, the bomb will be much bigger than 15 million. The signed agreement provides for a target regime. By 2026, the club must present a maximum deficit of €5 million, and by 2027, it must demonstrate that it is financially balanced. Otherwise, the fine could go from 15 to 60 million euros. And worse still, if the objectives are not met, the club could be excluded from European competitions for up to 3 seasons. Yes, you read that right. We are talking about the real possibility of seeing Barcelona out of the Champions League for 3 consecutive years. The most prestigious jersey on the continent, the home of Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Ronaldinho, and so many other stars, out of the main stage of European football. It's a major absurdity, and yet that's what UEFA has put on the table. The club, of course, does not want this to happen. The sports project continues firmly with Deco working behind the scenes and the management drawing up plans to balance the books without giving up competitiveness. The focus is now on clarity, discipline, and intelligence in business. The fan may worry, but they should not doubt that Barcelona has always known how to reinvent itself in the midst of crises, and this time will be no different. Now, between you and me, there's something that no one dares to say out loud. If it were Real Madrid in Barcelona's place, would UEFA have the same courage to apply this punishment? Or would silence and complicity reign in Valdebebas as always? According to ESPN, yes, cool, Boyat Szczęsny has said yes to Barcelona. And if you thought the Pole story at camp would be a quick, simple parenthesis, you were wrong from start to finish. At 35 years old, the veteran goalkeeper has already signed the contract with the club for 2 more seasons in a 1+1 format, strengthening the Blaugrana goalkeeper position for the challenges of the 2025-26 season. And pay attention, his story here seems to be straight out of a movie script. Szczęsny was already enjoying his retirement, far from the playing fields, thinking his career was over, but the call that changed everything came. Barcelona appeared in his life, and as he himself said with the frankness that characterizes him, if you say no to Barcelona, it's because you don't have the courage for such a challenge. Period. A statement from someone who knows what it means to wear this jersey with pride. Although his previous contract officially ended on June 30th, the management never lost hope of keeping Szczęsny. Despite the arrival of the young João Garcia, the idea was clear: to have an experienced and reliable goalkeeper as a second option, especially with the uncertain situation of Ter Stegen and the almost certain departure of Iñaki Peña in this market. And let's be fair, Szczęsny arrived and made the starting position his own. He took the place in goal when Ter Stegen was injured and never let it go. There were 30 matches, 36 goals conceded, and 14 games with a clean sheet. All this while helping Barcelona conquer the domestic treble, La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Super Cup. A performance that no one expected from someone who was already retired, but which demonstrates the magnitude of the response he gave on the field. The extension, of course, was not an instant yes. The goalkeeper did what was necessary. He sat down with his family, talked, thought about the future, and decided to continue being a Cule. With this, the puzzle of the Blaugrana goalkeepers takes shape: Ter Stegen, João Garcia, Iñaki Peña on the verge of leaving, and Szczęsny as that luxury plan B, the type of player every coach wants to have on the bench and sometimes even in the starting 11. Now, all that's left is the official announcement, but within the club, it's already considered a done deal. And here's the question that burns in the soul of the fan and in the corridors of camp. With Szczęsny at the top of his game and Ter Stegen in the shadows, is the German still the owner of Barcelona's #1 jersey, or has a new cycle already begun and no one has dared to say it out loud? According to Mundo Deportivo, Barcelona has 2 aces up its sleeve to ignite the attack for the 2025-26 season: Luis Diaz or Marcus Rashford. After the cold shower that was Nico Williams' extension with Athletic until 2035, Barcelona didn't have time to lament. Now, all eyes are on 2 big names, and the battle promises to heat up the Catalan summer. The favorite of the management, especially Deco, is Luis Diaz. The Colombian, coming off a spectacular season at Liverpool, scored 17 goals and provided 8 assists in 50 matches. A fast, vertical player with a goal-scorer's instinct and the ability to score from outside the box, in addition to contributing significantly to defensive pressure. A modern, complete winger with competitive spirit. The problem is getting him out of Anfield, worthy of a spy movie. The English club has already made it known that he is not for sale, according to Sky Sports. And if a dialogue were to open, the offer would have to start at least at €80 million. To make matters worse, Liverpool's moment is delicate. The tragic death of Diogo Jota has affected the internal atmosphere, and any movement involving forwards is currently frozen. Although Diaz has hinted at his admiration for Barcelona, he doesn't seem completely decided to force a departure. On the contrary, he would also be ready to extend with the Reds, meaning a story full of unpredictable chapters and a far from simple ending. On the other side of the ring is Marcus Rashford, who could be the most viable option at the moment. At 27 years old, the English forward has returned to Manchester United after a loan at Aston Villa, where he had good moments but not enough for the villains to exercise the €46 million purchase option. And United has already made it known that they are ready to sell him. The price, precisely these €46 million. Here, a decisive factor comes into play. Rashford wants to come to Barcelona. He is willing to reduce his salary and even accept a loan with an option to buy. All to fulfill his dream of wearing the Blaugrana jersey. According to journalist Ben Jacobs, the player has already communicated to United his desire to leave and that his ideal destination would be Barcelona. And furthermore, the Red Devils are already preparing the number 10 jersey for Matheus Cunha, another clear sign that Rashford has 1 foot out of Old Trafford. And the style of play. Rashford has the advantage of versatility. He can play on both sides and also as a forward. He is fast, skillful, finishes well, and knows how to take advantage of spaces. Although his season was less impactful than Diaz, with 11 goals and 9 assists in 41 matches, his tactical adaptation could be faster and his cost more accessible. As the market heats up, the Cule management is racing against the clock to decide who will be the new owner of the left wing of the attack. A Colombian in a state of grace but tied to a millionaire contract, or a talented Englishman with a desire to come but who still needs to regain confidence. And you, Cule, would you take the strong risk for Luis Diaz despite all the resistance from Liverpool? Or would you bet on Rashford's redemption, trusting that Barcelona is the stage where he can finally explode? According to the program Tot Costa de Catalunya Radio, coach Hansi Flick is disappointed with Nico Williams for turning his back on Barcelona, and it's not without reason, cool. When everything seemed to be on the right track, when the jersey was already practically folded with his name, the athletic club forward made a Mexican telenovela-style turnaround, extended with the Basques until 2035, and left Flick and all the Blaugrana fans empty-handed. It was going to be a party at Camp Nou. The arrival of Nico was going to be the great asset of this new reconstruction project led by Flick. And the German truly believed that the number 10 of La Roja would be a key piece in Barcelona's offensive scheme, but what seemed like a dream turned into frustration. According to Tot Costa, people close to the coach indicate that the big villain of this story would have been the player's agent, Felix Tinta, who would have closed the doors to the agreement with Barcelona, even when everything seemed aligned. And so, what was almost certain vanished. To make matters worse, it wasn't just press speculation. Journalist Fabrizio Romano confirmed on June 19 that Barcelona and Nico had reached a total agreement, a contract until 2031 with a salary between 7 and 8 million euros. And most strikingly, the player himself would have reduced his salary demands to facilitate the agreement. Everything indicated that he was eager to play at Camp Nou, and it wasn't just a desire from this side. Flick contacted Nico directly, according to the Gigantes program, to present the project, explain how he would fit into the team, and show him that he would have a leading role. Furthermore, journalist Edu Velasco Jr. D. El Chiringuito revealed that Nico himself had communicated to Athletic his desire to wear the Barcelona jersey. Everything seemed to be a matter of time, but then this ghost that haunts the club's offices reappeared, the cursed financial fair play. Barcelona couldn't guarantee that they could safely register him due to the one-for-one rule and still undefined revenues. This would have generated uncertainty in the player's entourage, leading to the ending that no one wanted. Extension with Athletic until 2035. Flick, who was already planning with Nico on the left wing, saw his project collapse before it even began. The coach's frustration is not only due to the loss of a promising player but because the negotiations seemed concluded, and everything collapsed due to extra sporting factors. Now, the inevitable question is, did Barcelona lose Nico because of the people, or was it just another chapter in the eternal financial novel that prevents the club from dreaming big? According to the Colombian channel Win Sports, Luis Diaz has broken his silence on his future amid the storm. Barcelona has once again set its sights on him, and the Colombian has become the hottest name in the Blaugrana market. And pay attention, Cule, get ready because this story promises breathtaking chapters. After the unexpected no from Nico Williams, who preferred to stay in the comfort of Athletic Club until 2035, Barcelona must act quickly, and among all the market options, Deco and company's favorite is Luis Diaz, the star from Barrancas who conquered Anfield with dribbles, goals, and personality. But does he really want to come? In an interview with Win Sports, Diaz responded with a certain mystery about his future at Liverpool. "We don't know anything yet. We are here talking to the management. We are calm where I am, just talking directly." No, and it's not the first time. In recent weeks, the Colombian has not ruled out the idea of leaving but has also not closed the door on an extension with Liverpool. A real game of chess. And those who know the market know that when the player speaks little, it's because a lot is happening behind the scenes. But this time, the tone was more measured, and for a very strong reason. The tragic death of Diogo Jota deeply shook the Reds' dressing room, particularly Luis Diaz, who was very close to the Portuguese striker. He recounted, moved, "It was very hard, a fundamental teammate in my arrival. His family welcomed me. When I woke up and saw the news, I really cried." Faced with this pain, it's understandable that any movement concerning Diaz's future is currently on pause. The atmosphere at Anfield is in mourning, and the Colombian has clearly indicated that his priority for now is to respect the environment and support his friend's family. But football doesn't stop, and Barcelona's interest remains firm. The management sees Diaz as the ideal replacement for the spot left by Nico, a player who combines technical quality, physical explosiveness, and tactical commitment. And according to rumors in the corridors, Liverpool's number 7 wouldn't mind a new challenge at Camp Nou. The problem is that Liverpool won't make things easy. Initial reports indicate that the English club has no intention of selling him unless an irresistible offer arrives. The minimum price, 80 million euros. All this to try to balance the books after the millionaire recruitments of Frimpong and Werter. Now, the lingering question is, does Barcelona have the sufficient resources to carry out an operation of this magnitude, or will this new plan end up the same way as Nico Williams and slip away once again? According to the newspaper Sport, Barcelona exploded with indignation at Nico Williams' final decision. And it's not without reason, my cool friend. The young man, who had one foot at Camp Nou, preferred to extend with Athletic until 2035, leaving in the air a sense of betrayal that is still hard to digest in the Blaugrana corridors. And pay attention, it's not just the decision that bothered them, but the way everything happened. Barcelona learned of the striker's extension through the internet, via a post on Athletic's social media and not through a direct communication from Nico or his representative. Lack of respect, lack of professionalism. The feeling at the club is that he was used to inflate a juicier contract with the Basque team, and that, my friend, hurt more than the 58 million euros of the clause that were already ready to be paid. Do you remember the Mbappé-Real Madrid saga? Well, here in Barcelona, comparisons are already being made. It was said that Nico had a verbal agreement with Barcelona, a contract until 2031, a salary between 7 and 8 million euros per season. Only the signature was left, but what happened next was a dramatic turn in the plot. Pressures from Athletic, financial demands beyond Barcelona's current reality, and, according to internal sources, a list of absurd guarantees demanded by the player's entourage. And now, my fan friend, the question remains. Did the player really want to come to Camp Nou, or did he only use Barcelona's name to gain an advantage with his own club? To make matters worse, Athletic tried to torpedo the operation behind the scenes, presenting formal complaints to the league and requesting audits on Barcelona's finances, all to keep their star at home. And they succeeded. Nico said, no, he made vows of love to Athletic. He said he followed his heart, but the damage was already done. In the corridors of Camp Nou, the feeling is that he played with the club's and the fans' feelings. A door that seemed wide open has now slammed shut with no chance of reopening. Nico Williams can continue to shine in Bilbao, but in Catalonia, he has lost trust forever. And now I ask you, Kuhl, should Barcelona continue to bet on young players who don't show real commitment to the club, or is it time to change course and look for those who really want to wear this jersey with pride?